and welcome to this YouTube live broadcast. The subject today is how to follow military discipline to succeed at UPSC examination. Good evening, viewers. My name is Captain Sanjay Gahlot. I'm the chief mentor with Textbook Super Coaching and for the UPSC. And today we are going to discuss a very interesting subject, which is how to follow the military discipline to succeed at UPSC examination. And do we really require that kind of an approach to succeed at UPSC? Because as I have often said, that UPSC is can be compared to a 1,000-mile race, and it requires the preparation of adequate kind and also requires the development of the right kind of muscles and the right kind of a diet and a food intake to be able to complete that arduous task of running the 1,000-mile race. Okay, so let's say that let me tell you something about how the military prepares its cadets and how it turns them into officers, and or shall we say soldiers, I mean, depending on what level you are training at. So to succeed in an examination, especially UPSC, I think you indeed need a military discipline. And I can tell you from my own experience, a very brief introduction. I think I wonder whether you have had the opportunity of going through my profile. I joined the army in 1983 after completion of my master's in political science from Allahabad University. And this I'll be honest with you, before joining the army was already in the groove of preparation for the civil services. But then I was fascinated by the uniform and I joined the army. I was in short service commission. I opted out of the army. I had the option of completing the short service commission of 5 years plus 1 year training, and either continuing in the army or opting out of the army. So I decided to opt out of the army because of the personal family reasons. And then my father advised me that why don't you undertake the original task of preparation of civil services. Now that seemed to be quite I was not very receptive to this idea, because after 7 years of gap of studies, completing MA in 83 and then aspiring to appear in the civil services in 1990 it seemed a very, an impossible kind of a task. But I can tell you from my own personal experience that the military training and the approach which is taken in the military in orienting yourself and preparing yourself for the completion and achievement of the task, it helped me. So friends, today I'm going to share some of those insights with you, and I think if you follow all of them, I feel very confident that you will succeed at UPSC. So this is my understanding, and so we will get on with that thing. So to succeed in an examination, especially UPSC, why you need the military discipline? So basically you have to establish a structured study routine. You have to set your goals very clearly and adhere to a very strict timetable. You have to eliminate all distractions, maintain focus during study sessions, and prioritize tasks based on importance. So this is the snapshot view of what we are going to talk about. Friends, let me point out that you also have to keep yourself physically fit. And if you are physically fit, it will enhance your concentration and it will add to your discipline, which will lead to further, its second order effects will be that you will be more successful in executing your plans. I think it will be in fitness the things that I must give you a short glimpse of the military training itself. Therefore, you will be able to relate to what we are going to talk about specifically in the context of UPSC much better. So, military training is a very well structured training program to instill discipline, teamwork, and specific skills. This structure generally follows a progressive sequence, starting with the basic training and advancing to more specialized and advanced training. So, let's have an overview of the whole thing. So, the basic training is known as the boot camp. Now, it introduces the recruits to the military life with a focus on physical fitness, discipline, and basic military skills. It also teaches fundamentals like marching, uniform wearing, and military etiquette. The second part is physical conditioning. Now, that includes regular fitness routines to build strength, endurance, and overall physical fitness. It emphasizes the activities like running, calisthenics, and team sports. The third aspect is weapons training because that's a very significant aspect. It teaches the safe and proficient use of firearms. It covers the marksmanship, weapon maintenance, tactical handling. The fourth aspect is tactical training. Now, in the tactical training, the basic military tactics and strategy is introduced, which involves small unit drills, patrolling, and field exercises. The fifth part is field training exercises. Now, in these exercises, the theoretical knowledge, whatever you have learned, is applied in a simulated combat situations. This will come handy when we talk about taking the mock tests as far as the UPSC is concerned. So this will be relatable. This point will be relatable to that. It also involves things like navigation, survival skills, and live fire exercises. You must know when a medium machine gun bullet flies over your head, what it feels like. It is called battle inoculation. And you actually get the feel when the actual bullets fly over your head, of course, with the safety angle, etc. The sixth aspect is the specialized training. Now, specialized training, those who are under training, they are required to go to their specialized training based on their assigned roles. For instance, you can be commissioned in an infantry battalion or an artillery regiment, or in the logistics, that is the services like Army Service Corps, etc. So, in-depth instruction on specific skills relevant to their military occupational speciality, as it is called in the Army, they are supposed to go through that specialized training. Friends, the Army also trains you in the leadership training. Now, civil services also basically looking for the candidates in the leadership roles. And once you get selected, basically you will be prepared for these leadership roles at a fairly young age. And therefore, that brings us, I'll just flag it here, that UPSC is looking for the candidates who are trainable into these leadership roles. And so when we talk about UPSC preparation in detail, I will lay bare before you what are the traits to be developed when you undertake the written examination and then when you face the interview. So everything in a systematic manner we will We will plan it, and you will be given adequate inputs as far as that aspect is concerned. Friends, it might surprise you, but armed forces continue the education program, and they encourage you to ongoing learning throughout your military career, and therefore you have a system of uh, attending the military academies for professional development courses and leadership training. Finally, when the training is complete, the personnel are assigned to the operational units. Same way as civil services. Like you had 20 services, you have now railways is no longer there. So you have administrative service, police service, two revenue services, and then you have three or four audit and account services, and many other services, postal service and various other services. So each one is trained as a specialist in their particular discipline. Same way, just the way the army does it. So if you have any doubts so far, you can ask me in the chat box. Would you like to? Anything? Any questions? Okay, good evening. All right. So no questions so far. So shall we continue? Okay. Any questions? Okay, so let's get on with the main part now. Now, that is how to manage time. Yes. So Komal Kaushal has asked, sir, how to manage the time in the whole day. Absolutely. So we are going to talk about that. Right. So let's go step by step. Throughout military training, a structured approach is maintained to build strong foundation progressively, to develop skills and adapt individuals to the demands of the military service. The emphasis on discipline, teamwork, and leadership remains consistent, as I said, across the training continuum. Friends, for UPSC also, my first advice to you is you have to create a schedule, create a timetable, and develop a daily, weekly, and a monthly schedule, and allocate specific time slots for various subjects or topics. This structured approach helps in managing the time efficiently. I hope I have briefly conveyed you the importance of creating a time schedule. So we will try to have a separate session for having the how to prepare the time schedule, and that will be very helpful to you, and that will hold you in good stead. And okay, so we were on the creation of the time schedule. Now, how many of you have already prepared the timetables and you have already got on with that thing? Can you just give me an idea by way of some comments in the comment box? Pratik and Rani and Deepali, give us some idea. Have you been able to develop some time schedule for yourself? Okay, Amrita is asking, is it necessary to have a flexible time schedule? Look, here is the thing. Flexibility is important. You can have flexibility, but whatever time schedule, in fact, it's always a work in progress. You have to, whatever time schedule you have prepared, you have to adjust it as you go along with your preparation. So you will have to prepare a time schedule. We will have a separate session how to prepare a time schedule. But just to today's session is basically how to use the uh, principles of military training in preparing yourself for the UPSC. So, for the time being, just remember that you have to prepare a time schedule, and that will hold you in good stead. Friends, secondly, you will have to set up very clear cut goals for yourself, and the goals, important thing is that they should be achievable goals for each study session. Having specific objectives will keep you focused and motivated throughout your preparation. For instance, I'll just give you a broad idea. You have got 7 parts in your general studies. Those 7 parts, broadly speaking, are current affairs, history and culture, Indian geography, physical geography, Indian economy, polity, and current affairs. So, broadly speaking, so you know it. These are the 7 parts. I feel that you require at least 1 year's preparation, 1 year's serious preparation before you take the plunge into the UPSC examination, the commencing with the process of preliminary examination. So, 1 full year you must spend in preparation, and for that, as I pointed out earlier, you will have to prepare your time schedule. Very broadly speaking, if you have, just to give you an idea, of course, detailed discussion on how to prepare time schedule, we will be scheduling it for you by way of a YouTube live broadcast or maybe a discussion. So those 7 parts, give yourself, suppose you start in the month of, because you see, calculate it backwards. Your preliminary examination is usually in the last week of May or first week of June. Now calculated it backwards. January to May are 5 months. So your preparation must commence in the, for instance, if you are taking exam in 2025, then your preparation should have commenced in sometime in June 2024 itself. You have 12 months, take 7 months out of those 12 months, and each 7 parts you must aim to cover in 1 month. Say you start in the month of June. The first point or the first part of the syllabus in general studies is polity, shall we say, depending on in which sequence you have set them up. So you start with the polity, finish polity within the month of June itself, followed by Indian economy in the month of July, complete history and culture, which is slightly longer. You can give yourself 1.5 months maybe. By maybe, shall we say, whole of August and half a month of September. Similarly, as far as current affairs is concerned, friends, you will have current, by definition, is current. So I would advise you, it's a good idea to read a monthly compendium of all the current affairs. But it would be a great idea and a very successful one if you fix a slot for going through the newspaper. I will flag it right here. Two newspapers I will recommend. One is Hindu and other is Indian Express. There is a technique of reading the newspapers also. You must keep connecting it to your syllabus. Now, syllabus is static part as well as the current. A large number of questions from, say, Indian economy will be asked from the current part. Therefore, the current affairs pertaining to Indian economy, current affairs pertaining to the geography of India and geography of the world. There are so many issues pertaining to environment and climate change, etc., etc. So whatever you have studied theoretically, you have to connect it to the your static part also, and look for those topics. Read the newspaper with the intention, keeping in at the back of your mind your UPSC syllabus. I hope I have made myself clear. So this was the broad structure, that in about 8 months time you must aim to finish those 7 portions of GS of prelims and also general studies of the main examination. This is as far as the GS is concerned. Friends, you will have to study essay as well as ethics and your optional paper along with the GS. Therefore, your 10 or 12 hours, whatever you divide, you must be able to cover your CSET paper, your GS, your essay, your optional. And you will have to read the newspaper also, besides taking the short breaks, because that is very essential. Otherwise, normally the attention span is about 45 minutes. If you continuously read and go beyond 45 minutes, your attention span will shrink and that focus will not be there. Let me give you an example. What is focus? The focus is, if you use a double convex lens and place it in front of the sun rays, the converged sun rays are able to burn a paper. You must have carried out this kind of an experiment during 8th, 9th and 10th classes. So that is the focus. Once you focus yourself, whatever you study, you will have to do it in a focused manner. Like the convergence of the sun rays. So, a question is being asked by Rani that Rose art 8 hours must needs. I think you are right. I would say you start with about 6 to 7 hours and then take, you can easily go up to 12 hours. So 12 hours, and as the exam comes closer, you will have to maybe devote more hours. So that is the thing. Okay. This is as far as the setting the clear goals is concerned, and goals are clear, they are achievable goals, and each study session you are able to achieve what you want to, because you have to remain focused and motivated throughout your preparation. Friends, that is very, very essential, because UPSC examination is a test of many things. It is also a test of your patience. It is also a test of your nerves, and it is a test of your motivation, because a time will come when you will feel completely wasted and tired. That is the time to press on. So this is my sincere advice. The fourth point is that you have to eliminate distractions. A question was also asked that how to eliminate distractions. Friends, you will have to minimize disruptions during the study sessions. You will have to turn off your unnecessary notifications in your smartphone. You will have to find a quiet study environment, and you will have to inform others around you that you have a dedicated study time, and therefore you have no time for any distractions, including any parties, any celebrations of collective celebrations, family and friends and otherwise. So there is no harm. You can very clearly state that since your schedule is tight, you will not be able to participate in those activities. And please log out of your Instagram and Facebook and all social media. The only social media you can utilize is you can check out the useful videos of test book which are being constantly prepared with keeping the aspirants like you in mind. You can keep checking them out, and I would urge upon you to remain in touch with us, with me as chief mentor and my team of mentors. If you have any queries, we will keep answering your queries, and we'll encourage you to achieve and succeed at UPSC examination. Okay? All right. That was as far as the elimination of distractions is concerned. Timetable I have already told you. I would urge upon you to adhere to your study timetable. Now that will require punctuality and consistency. Now these are also the key aspects of the military training. Okay, so Gehna is asking, sir, I need to balance my college work and even as well as my UPSC preparation. How can I schedule the both? So Gehna, I would say that those of you who are still studying, suppose you are in BA or if you are doing master's degree, you should, it is unavoidable that you will have to visit your college and you will have to visit your university, as the case may be. So please do take out some time, familiarize yourself with the syllabus of the UPSC, because UPSC preparation actually commences many years before you actually take the examination. I can cite the example of my own daughter who is in foreign service, 2015 batch. She started orienting herself when I was posted in Bombay Customs. I'm from Indian Revenue Service. I'm a retired principal commissioner. I think I forgot to mention. So she commenced it in sometime in 2008 itself, and she finally took her first attempt in 2013, and 2014 she succeeded. So 4-5 years of orienting yourself towards UPSC, that is what amounts to building the muscles, like weightlifting or a 1,000-mile race. You can't run 1,000-mile race, like tomorrow. First you have to start with maybe 1 mile only. That is how we do it in the military. You have to start with we used to have a 1 mile race in the PT rig, physical training rig, shorts and t-shirt and all that thing. Then we used to have 2 mile. 2 mile also in the PT rig only. Finally, gradually, they used to increase the level of difficulty. 2 mile race with the rifle and the pack and the big boots. And then 10 mile, that is 16 kilometers with rifle and boot. So, if you are not expected to start running the 10 mile or the 16-kilometer race straight away with rifle and the pack. First, you have to do with the light. Yeah, very well. Those questions will be covered, of course. So, friends, I would like to reiterate that you must follow a timetable. You have to strictly adhere to your study timetable, and punctuality and consistency are the key aspects of military discipline, and they will contribute equally to the preparation of UPSC. Okay? If you have any questions so far on these 5 points which I have already given you, please ask in the chat box. Okay. The next point is that, friends, you will have to maintain the breaks, meaning thereby that even a short break of 2 minutes is very rejuvenating. As I told you, continuously you should study in a focused manner only for 45 minutes. 45 minutes is sufficient. Then you take a 2 to 3 minutes break. You can get up, maybe walk around in your room, grab a maybe cup of tea or coffee or whatever is the beverage of your choice, or maybe a plain glass of water, and but no checking of social media. Okay, that's not a break. That you will have to take sannyas from for 1 full year. Okay, so taking the break is very, very important. Short breaks must be incorporated into your study routine to avoid the burnout, because I must honestly confess to you that UPSC syllabus is fairly vast, but at the same time I would say that it can be covered. I can give you my own example. I left the army in 1989, and from January I started preparing, and during our time there used to be 2 optional papers. So since I had done masters in political science, so political science was one optional paper. My other optional paper was sociology, which I had never studied. But I took coaching in all subjects. First I took prelims coaching, and I used the headlight approach, which we will be talking about. What is a headlight approach? Okay. You must use these breaks, coming back to the point, for stretching, for hydrating yourself, and engaging in quick physical exercises to keep your mind sharp. Now that is very essential, right? Friends, a very important point is you must make yourself accountable to whatever goal and objective you have set before yourself. You must hold yourself accountable. If you have not been able to follow, you must do a constant auditing of your own progress. That today I was supposed to cover these topics. Read newspaper, listen to the news, analyze what is current. Have I been able to do it? Maintain some kind of a journal, and honestly confess in that what were the objectives which you were supposed to achieve today, and in your calendar or the timetable itself you just make a little marking that out of 10 things how many things you were able to do actually. Now that is very, very important. Okay, so hold yourself accountable for completing the task as scheduled. If you have to study and complete the powers of the President of India today, For instance, from the polity, suppose you are studying polity. So that topic, if you were supposed to finish today, you have to adhere to the timetable and try to finish that on the designated time and date. So that is very important, and that is what amounts to holding yourself accountable for completing the task as scheduled. Now, this will mirror the sense of responsibility and commitment. Now, similar kind of a thing during my military training I had undergone, that we were required to complete the task on a designated date and at a designated time, and it was achieved. And that military approach to preparation of UPSC helped me tremendously, because I only had 9 months. January, around 19th of January 1990, I started preparing. 5th of June 1990 was the prelim exam. I prepared myself with one optional and general studies, and I cleared it in the first attempt. Then I started preparing. Of course, I was alongside preparing for sociology and political science and general studies of the main exam also. No, that's a, you will have to prepare your schedule. So when we talk about preparing of the schedule, we will be giving you, detailed guidelines how to do it. Okay? All right. So let's get on with the thing. The next thing is, friends, you will have to keep reviewing your progress and adjusting according to your progress. There will be instances that whatever initially, suppose you were supposed to finish a topic in 1.5 days, but you find that instead of 1.5 days, it took 3 days. So that is understandable. You can do it. Little bit of adjustment, that one extra day has been taken. So you will have to keep reviewing and adjusting your timetable accordingly. You will have to, it is like rubber band. Sometimes you are required to stretch it. But maybe some topic which you were supposed to finish in 1 day, maybe you will be required to finish it in half a day. So you will have to keep compensating. So whatever extra time is consumed by one subject, it must be taken care of when you study the other subjects. So this is the thing. So periodically you must review your study plan and assess your progress. You must adjust your schedule based on the performance and identify areas where the improvement is required. I would repeat that. Periodically review your study plan to assess your progress and adjust your schedule based on your performance and identify the areas where the improvement is needed. Okay? Friends, this brings me to the last point of preparation. These are general points orienting yourself how to use the military discipline. All these things were followed by us during our military training, in pre-commissioning training. Friends, you must sleep well. Prioritize sufficient and quality sleep. That is my advice to you. A well-rested mind is more receptive to information and better equipped to handle the challenges of the exam. I would repeat, a well-rested mind is more receptive to information and better equipped to handle the challenges of the UPSC exam. Friends, remember that the military discipline emphasizes consistency, commitment, and attention to detail. For your benefit, I will repeat, military discipline requires and emphasizes consistency, commitment, and attention to detail. Apply these principles to your study routine and it will contribute significantly to your success in UPSC examination. This brings me to the end of this formal briefing as far as using the military discipline to the preparation of UPSC is concerned. Now, let me have a quick look at some of the questions which you have asked. Good evening to everybody. Time, yes. Komal Kaushal is asking, sir, how to manage time and the whole day. I have already answered that. UPSC aspirant is asking how to motivate ourselves. You see, civil services examination is a unique examination and the most difficult examination of the world. Friends, once you succeed at it, so journey itself is very challenging and interesting. Friends, remember, the study which you will be doing in UPSC preparation, it will not go waste. It will hold you in good stead throughout your life. In whichever profession you are, this study is going to hold you in good stead and you will be head and shoulders above others in whichever profession you go, even if you do not go into UPSC. I mean, join one of the services. You will. Take it from me, if you prepare well and if you bear these things in mind, I'm very hopeful all of you have the potential to prepare yourself and succeed at UPSC examination. Okay? Neetu is asking, how can we maintain focus on our study? This I have already answered. First part of it is that remove all distractions. So you can rewind the video, go back in the timeline and see how to remain focused. Motivation, I've already pointed out. Deepali asking some simple activities to maintain physical fitness. For instance, yoga and stretches and maybe 15-20 minutes or half an hour of light running or jogging or even a brisk walk in the park will hold you in good stead, I think, and be careful about what you eat. Avoid heavy food, avoid junk food, eat fruits, vegetables, drink water, avoid carbonated and sugary beverages. I know you already know what are the healthy things and what are the unhealthy things. Pratik is asking how to handle distractions. Pratik, I have already pointed it out. Amrita is asking flexible time. I have already answered that. Timetable. So most of the questions have been. I have done time schedule. Nirmala is asking, yes sir, I have done the time schedule, but sometime it goes beyond the expected. That's perfectly fine, Nirmala. It can happen. But try to adhere. My emphasis is, in the military, you can't say that you were supposed to start your drill at the drill square at 9 o'clock and you are turning up at 5 past 9. Now that is not acceptable. So for starting the drill, we were reporting to the drill square half an hour in advance. So 8:30 the fallen will be there. The Ustad will check our uniforms. He will check those 13 nails and a horseshoe in our drill boots. And he will check our turnout, whether our shoes are shining, boots, whether our metal parts those brass metal parts have been properly polished, and whether our shirt and our trouser is starched properly. So if you report half an hour before, then the possibility of not starting in time is ruled out. For instance, if you have to start your day at 7 o'clock in the morning, get off your bed, get out of that quilt at 6:45, wash your face with the cold water, and if you have kept a hot coffee in your or the tea in your thermos, in your flask. Sip your tea, and 5 minutes to 7 you should be at your desk or your takhat or your wherever you prefer to study. So you will be able to maintain this. It's a very, very simple military technique which I am telling you. Okay. So that is as far as the time is concerned. Epi is asking how to read newspaper, like what specific news. I've already pointed out, you must familiarize yourself thoroughly. I will be taking, I think me and maybe Ravi, together we will take a separate session in maybe 3-4 parts. 15 tips on actual UPSC preparation. What are those 15 points which you must bear in mind? One of the very important point is what to read and how to read. So I had equated that with eating or with consumption of right kind of proteins and diet for running the 1000-mile race. So your study material is the protein that will help you in running the 1000-mile race called UPSC. Okay. I'm not coming out of the... Lakshmi Singh is asking, sir, I'm not coming out of the overthinking vicious circle. Lakshmi, if you maintain a discipline, you see, preparation of UPSC is like buttoning up your shirt. If the first button of your shirt is in place, the rest of the buttons will be in place. If your first button is not in place, then all the rest of your buttons will be in wrong place and your shirt will not be aligned properly. मतलब आपकी कमीज का बटन आपने पहला अगर ठीक नहीं लगाया तो आपके सारे बटन गलत लगेंगे, और अगर आपका पहला बटन ठीक लग गया तो बाकी सारे बटन जो हैं वो भी ठीक लगेंगे और आपकी शर्ट जो है एकदम अच्छी दिखेगी. तो ये एग्जांपल मैं देना चाहता हूँ आपको. पहला बटन जो है वो है 7 बजे अगर पढ़ाई शुरू करनी है, प्लीज गेट अप बाय 6:45, वॉश योर फेस विद द कोल्ड वाटर इवन इन द विंटर्स, wear your jacket or whatever you prefer to wear, and be at your desk 5 minutes to 7. Okay. Pankaj is asking how long one subject should take. So Pankaj, broadly speaking, 7 parts of GS and essay and ethics and everything. You divide all those things into number of months which are available with you, very broadly speaking. You plot them month-wise, how you are going to finish them. Okay? We will also be, when we get time in future, a standardized kind of a thing will be shared with you. How to prepare, I mean, if I may say, a model kind of a timetable which you can adjust according to your specific requirement. Okay? So I think we have covered most of the questions. I will it's been 1 hour and 20 minutes and I myself was saying that the normal attention span is 45 minutes. I think I must let you guys go now, and we will be meeting in the new session, which will be planned regularly by Textbook Super Coaching. And I wish you all the best, and remain in touch with us. We are fully motivated and excited to provide you mentorship throughout your journey. There is a difference between mentorship and coaching. Coaching may be emphasizing or covering only a limited part, but as a mentor, mentors will be concerned. We'll try to address all your issues, including your how to manage your health, how to manage your routine, and everything else. Okay? Thank you very much. I hope today's session was useful to you. Jai Hind, and we'll meet again.